My first trip to China for this project was in April 2008. Then I traveled quite constantly. Every year I made 4 or 5 trips to China. It is finished about late 2010. Every time I go to China, I feel like I'm going to a different country because everything has been changing constantly. You can see kind of remaining shape of a house was in front of this white wall covered with tile. That wall was a very private part of that house because you can see that little square where you put soaps and shampoo. That's very interesting to see something that's so private in somebody's life and all of a sudden it becomes so public. I saw this pigeon living in this kind of cramped wooden box. They're very much restricted until a certain time of the day. They go out, they interact with locals and tourists. I grew up having my grandmother's radio on all day and all night, listening Chinese opera. I'm not really a big fan of it, but when I saw a live performance on the street, it was quite fascinating to me. Under the bridge, in the street corner, and the opera singer was almost voice fighting with the traffic. I grew up in one of the biggest shanty towns in Shanghai. It's called the Yangpu district, which is a heavily industrial district in Shanghai. Everything is made of concrete, no decoration, just pretty bland. The neighborhood is very safe, actually quite clean. And me and my friends, we always just wandering around. We are basically living in kind of an open air residential neighborhood. All the kitchen and the bathroom is outdoor. Every family is cooking outside, so you constantly smell food. Portrait photographer is like a psychologist with a camera. The technical part of it is easy. The difficult part is to finding the person that is interesting to me and have them be open and honest in front of the camera. That's what's difficult. I met these 2 guys in a friend's office. I don't really know much about the story of these 2 guys. They reminds me people who dress look from the 1980s in Shanghai. Sometimes when I find a face that I'm very interested, and that's almost enough. Chinese are much more conservative and they're very much cautious about why I wanted to make a nude picture of them or even non-nude picture of them in their private space. When the Chinese sit in front of my camera, there is already a trust built before even we meet. I believe when people are undressed, naked, they become much more vulnerable. But at the same time, there is a freedom. People become much more open, honest, very comfortable. It's about an emotional interaction with the subject, instinctual process. I think Chinese sentiment is a very kind of abstract feeling to each individual. I probably would never be able to explain what that is. It is about a feeling, what touches you. When I experience something in China and even outside China, certain things remind me that I am a Chinese.